Hello everyone. Today I shall describe what happens when we pass a number to a function, when we pass a list, a string, a dictionary to a function. For this I have written four programs. In the first program I am passing a number to a function. In the second program I am passing a string to a function, then a list to a function, and in the final program I am passing a dictionary to a function. And with the help of pythontutor.com I shall explain what is happening in the memory when we are passing a number or list or string or dictionary to a function. So first of all you have to click Python tutor. Here you can write the code and you can visualize the execution. Here I have written this code where f1 is a function. It is accepting a variable n, and within this function we are modifying the value of the variable n. So before modification of n we are printing the value of n and address of n, and after modification we are printing the modified value of n and the address of n. And this is the main program where x is a variable with the value 10. In the main program we are calling the function f1 and here the argument is x. So before the function call, here we are printing the value of x and address of x, and after the function call, here we are printing the value of x as well as the memory address of x. So basically we are going to check the value of the argument and address before the function call, and after the function call we are again checking the value of the argument x and the memory address of the argument x. We are going to check whether there is any change in the argument or not, and here n is the parameter. In my previous videos I told you that the value of x will be assigned to n, but with the help of Python tutor I shall show you what is happening inside. So I am going to copy this code and I will paste here. Using live programming mode, we shall check the step-by-step execution of the program. First of all, you must know that this red arrow is indicating next line to execute. That means this line will be executed, and this arrow will indicate line that just executed. So if I click on this button next, then this statement will be executed and this arrow will point to the next executable statement or line. So you can see that this line is executed, and after that this line will be executed. So after execution of the first line, here function object is created in the memory. That means we have made a declaration that f1 is a function. Now x equal to 10. So 10 is a object and x is referencing this object 10. Next this statement is executed before function call, and here is the output. Now this statement will be executed, print value of x, and value of x is 10, and using the id x we are going to print the memory address of x. So this is the value of x and this is the memory address of x. Next you can see that red arrow indicating f1x. That means this statement will be executed. f1x means we are calling the function f1 and the argument is x. So let's check what will happen. You can see that now execution goes to the function f1 and the parameter n is assigned with the value 10. Next, we are going to print this statement before modification of n. So let's check what will be the value and id of n. So value is 10 and most important thing, id of n is similar to the id of x. That means both x and n is pointing to the same object. And one more thing you must remember, that 10 is immutable object. If I am going to change the value of the variable n, that means we cannot change the value in place. So after execution of this statement n plus equal to 10, the new value of n will be 20. That means an object 20 will be created in the memory and n will store the reference of this object. So after execution of this statement, the value of n will be 20 because current value is 10, and after execution of this statement, updated value of n will be 20. And surely the address of n will be changed, and this was the old address of n, and after execution of this statement the address of n will change because n is an integer variable. An integer object is immutable. That means you cannot change in place. If you are changing this value, that means the change cannot be done in this memory location, in this place. Yes, you can change the value of n, but it will refer to a new memory address where the new data, new value is stored. Let's see. The value of n is changed 20. Now after modification of n, the value of n is 20 and the address is totally changed. You can see that previous address was 336 and current address is 656. So this is the last statement of the function f1. So after execution of this statement, the execution will go just after the statement of the function call. That means the execution will go to line number 12, and you can see that here there is no existence of the variable n because n was local variable. In my next video I shall discuss about the local and global variable, and here we will discuss only about passing different types of values to a function. Next, let's check what will be the value of x. Is it changed? Is its address changed? Let's see. Here you can see that value of x is 10. So value of x is 10 and the address is unchanged. That means when the function is called, the parameter n is referencing to the same object to which the argument x is pointing. As the value or object was integer type and integer is immutable, so after modification the address of n is changed as well as value, but the memory address as well as value of x will be unchanged. Next, passing string to a function. Here x is a string, it contains online class. So before function call we will check the value of the string x as well as address of the string x, and here we are calling the function with argument x, and after function call we are going to check the value of x as well as address of x. Here s is the parameter, that means x is pointing to this string, s will point to the same string, and here we are going to modify the string. So before modification we will check the value of s as well as id of s. I think few of my students are thinking that there is a problem in this statement. Yes, you are absolutely right. We cannot change a string. We cannot change any element of a string. Here we are trying to change 1th index of the string. So there will be an error. I have given this example because according to my experience I have seen so many students did this type of mistakes. So you must remember this. But let's see what will happen during execution of this program. Again, we have made a declaration that f1 is a function. Now x is a string with this value online class. Next, before function call we will print the value of x as well as memory address. Value of x is online class and this is the memory address. Now the function f1 will be called and argument is x and s is the parameter. That means x and s both will point to the string online class. So before modification we are going to check the value of s as well as memory address of s, and you can see that value is online class and memory address also same to the memory address of x. That means x and s both are pointing to the same string. So in all cases the parameter and argument will point to the same object. But if the object is mutable, that means if we change the parameter, the change will be affected in the argument also. But if the object is immutable, then if we change the parameter, then parameter will be changed but the argument will remain same. But in case of string and tuple, we cannot change them because they are basically constant values. We can traverse a string, we can concatenate more than one string, we can do membership operations, but we cannot change any element of a string. So we must remember this. Here we are going to change the element at the 1th index of the string, so it is not possible. So there will be an error. You can see type error, str object does not support item assignment. So whenever you are using string, you must remember that you cannot change a string, you cannot change a tuple. But in case of list and dictionary, you can change them. And as list and dictionaries are mutable, you can change them in place. This is a list containing these values 10, 20, 30, 40. Before function call, we will print the value of x and memory address of x. Then we will call the function f1x. Parameter is L. That means x and L is now pointing to the same list. Before modification, we are going to print the value of L as well as the memory address of L. And here we are appending 50 to the list. So as list is mutable, we can change the list in place. That means the value of L will change and value of x will be changed, and memory address of both L and x will remain same. Let's check it. I just pasting the code. So first of all, we are declaring that f1 is a function, then the list object will be created and x will point to this object. You can see that x is pointing to the object and the values are 10, 20, 30, 40. Now before function call, we are going to print the value of x as well as memory address. So this is the value and this is the memory address. Now here we are going to call the function f1 with the argument x. Here the parameter is L, that means x and L will point to this list object. Let's see. So inside the function f1, a variable L is created and L is pointing to the list object. Now before modification of L, we are going to print the value of L as well as address. You can see value and address of L is same as the value and address of X. Basically they are pointing to the same object. Now we are appending a value 50 to the list. As list is mutable, we can change the list in this place. That means after changing, the change will be reflected on the variable L and X also. Let's see. We are appended this value 50 and X is still pointing to this list and L also pointing to this list. So the value of L will be after modification 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and memory address is unchanged. And after execution of this statement, execution will go here. So after that, this print function is executed and it is printing after function call. Next, you can see that value of x is also changed and address is same. X is still pointing to this object. And in case of dictionary also, it will behave similarly. As dictionary is mutable, so change will be reflected in the argument as well as the parameter if we are changing the dictionary inside the function. Here the dictionary X is created. This is the key value pairs, and inside the function we are creating another key value pair. So let's check what will happen. So after execution of this statement, execution will go here and a dictionary will be created with these elements pgt10, tgt7 and x is pointing to the dictionary. Now we are going to print the value of x as well as memory address. So after that the function will be called and parameter is a d. So d also point to this object. Now we are going to print the value of d as well as memory address. Here you can see that memory address of d also same as the memory address of x. Now here we are going to modify the dictionary. Here we are going to create a key value pair prt and 5. As dictionary is mutable, change will be implemented in this place. So another key prt will be created and the value file will be associated with the key prt. And you can see still x is pointing to this object as well as d is pointing to this object. So change will be reflected in both the variables x and d. So the modified value of d and x will be same as well as their address. here you can see that the value of d and value of x is same, as well as their address is unchanged. So I think after this discussion your concept is clear. If you have any doubt, please comment. Thank you for watching this video.